The first video with the phosphoric acid received a lot of attention and probably a lot of questions. So this video is going to cover the same acid but actually show you how it works. Now obviously this is going to take time, so what I plan on doing is I'm going to show you the parts that I'm going to work on and the different materials that these things are, and then I'm going to over the course of time take little updates here and there until we get the finished product. That way you can see how this product works. I'll give you the time frame, I'll show you the clock so that you can actually see the process, since I have the chemical and I'm able to do this right now. So we're going to start off with the time. There's the clock right there. You see that? And then I have the chemical right here. And these are the subjects that I plan on putting into this phosphoric acid. We have here an alternator bracket that I'm no longer using for my Chevy Nova. This is pretty old. I'm also going to show pictures of this, but you can see the surface rust on there. Normally, to get this nice and clean, you'd have to sand it down, which of course is another option. Then we have here a washer, which normally nobody really takes a washer, sands it down, clean it, just to put it back on the car. They'll just get a new washer. So we have a rusty washer here, which was on the Nova, which is most likely the same age as the Nova. And then we have a screw that's also rusty. And again, I take pictures of this to get a better view of the items in case this camera doesn't pick it up with good quality. We have here a plastic container, so I'm going to be using that to put the acid in. And then we have neoprene. This here is neoprene. And then let's see if I can find something rubber. Okay, I now have a rubber ball. Don't tell my daughter. I took it out of her toy box. You can see it's rubber. So I'm going to be throwing that into the mix. And there we have rubber, which will simulate any rubber parts on the car. We have metal. Obviously this rubber is probably a lot softer, so that's why I chose this rubber rather than the rubber on the car. Obviously the rubber on the car is stronger, so if nothing happens to this, well, you know, nothing's gonna happen to the rubber in the car. And we have the screws and stuff. We have plastic, which will simulate any plastic pieces that you might come across. And then we have neoprene, which I guess will simulate a gasket. So let's put the camera down, tripod, and let's see if we can show you the process that I'm about to go through. Okay, so I'm going to take a piece of the neoprene, toss it in there, take my washer, toss it in there, that screw, toss it in there, and now the piece of metal. Now obviously this metal is smaller than the container, but the purpose of it is I'm going to fill it up to maybe around there when it's in the container, so that you can see the difference that chemical will make on this metal. And let's bring it a little closer. You can see it's just surface rust, so you can see that it's surface. So we're going to toss that in there, and I'm going to hold it up with this bottle so it doesn't tip over and make a mess on my table. Anyway, we got the parts in there. I got my prep and etch right here, and I'm going to pour it onto my parts. Okay, here we go. There. So it's now poured onto the parts. The neoprene is floating in there, so let's see if I can get it to sync. Let's see. Well, probably can't, but well, we'll just leave it there. We'll know that part of the neoprene is in the liquid, and so that should serve as enough of a, for my purpose, enough of a demonstration. So now you saw me put that stuff in there. Here's the clock again. So we're gonna leave it in there to do its thing. Let's see if you can see something in there. Here, you can actually see it doing its thing. It's already working to eat that rust. You can see from the bubbles. Can I get it closer? I doubt it. Let me get some light. Maybe with light I'll get a better view. No, it's blurry. Oops. Well, there you go. You can see it eating away at the rust. So it's fizzing away. So we'll come back. We'll see how it's going. And the purpose of this demonstration is to show you. Let's get this camera on there. The purpose of this demonstration is to show you how this product works and how I actually used it on the car. Basically, you can't put a whole subframe in a container such as this, but the principle is the same. The item is submerged in the chemical, so in the case of a subframe or something much larger on a car, you basically just spray it on there and try to keep it wet, and that's what this is showing. If you keep it wet, it'll transform the metal into a newer state than the current state that it's in. So we'll check that out a couple hours, and we'll document the progress. Oh, and one other thing. I just saw it when I turned the camera off. The rubber ball. Forgot to throw it in there. So there you go. It's in there, and of course it's floating. So we got all the parts in there. So again, the time. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, that's the time now. And let's check out the fizz action. So it's still working. Well, we can see it's still working. So we'll check back in a little while again. Okay, it's after 10. You can see it's dark outside. Let's check out all the bubbles on top, and let's check out some of that fizz. And there it is. Still fizzing away. So we'll check back on it, and maybe tomorrow morning. Well, here's the time now. It's the next day, and it's almost 24 hours. I'll give you an update. Here's the product. It's still bubbly. And got the light. Let's see. We still got some fizzing going on. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and take the parts out and wash them, show you what they look like. Okay, I brought the parts outside, and I'm going to take them out so you can see, start washing them, and show you what they look like. So got my garden hose, and I got a toothbrush so that I can do the cleaning. And I'll start off with the big piece because that way I don't need this bottle anymore to hold up anything.
you can see even without rubbing on it. Let's do this little rubbing just to make sure I get all of it off, all the product. That's the first one. Wondering if you can see that. Let me just check the camera. Yeah, you can. Okay, so that's the first one. Second one is neoprene. Okay. You can see that's fully intact. Didn't do anything to the neoprene. Get some of this off my hands. So, see that? Great shape. Next to ball. Ball's in excellent condition. See that bounce? Put that right here. I don't want it to roll away from me. And then we got, let's do the washer. Here's the washer. And again, I'm going to scrub it so that make sure I get it all off the product. So you can see that. The last one is the screw. Do a little scrubbing. And there, got the screw. So let me just put this aside. The chemical, the product, this is the leftover, and you can continue to use it. So I continue to use it until it turns. Let me show you what it eventually turns out. Until it becomes something like what's in here. When it's like black and it's no longer greenish, then I toss it. But I continue to use it until until it turns to that.
So there, you've seen how the product worked now. It's pretty straightforward. You can see the difference that it actually makes to the metal. And this is 24 hours submerged. There's that washer. And the screw. Nice and clean. Now it's all ready to be painted. And as I stated, I use that Rust-Oleum product because it's very durable. Even with using a ratchet and a socket for these nuts, paint doesn't flake off or anything. It really holds really well. So that's just one of my ways to remove the rust from the metal. Now this is pretty much ready to be painted. It's pretty smooth, and obviously it's etched. It's not shiny or anything, that's why it looks gray, but it's perfectly ready for a nice coat of paint or whatever you want to do. Powder coat the part, paint the part, whatever. It's pretty ready for anything you want to do to the metal. So I hope you enjoyed the video, along with the time lapse and everything. It's not really a time lapse, but you know, all the little updates. Hope that this shows what I was talking about and the process that I actually took to clean the parts on my car. If you like the video, hit the like button. Any comments? Feel free to leave comments. Hopefully this answered any questions that you may have had about my method and the way I remove rust. Thank you for watching.